So glad you could join me. You don't know who I am. I'm Heather Burkart, and I was teaching at the Bayview Community Center this prenatal and postnatal class on Tuesday morning at 9:30 a.m. And today I'll be sharing a practice with you that hopefully is suited for everyone, whether you're expecting a baby or you've had one recently, or even months or years ago. So as always, modify to your comfort, make sure that you feel safe and secure and stable in whatever you do today. As usual, what I'm offering is just that, an offering. So we'll get started right away in a comfortable seated position. You might use a block or a bolster to find some height. Okay, good. Getting a little longer in the torso, rolling shoulders forward, up and back. Take a moment to land. You may want to close your eyes. Listen to the sounds of your breath, or simply feel the sensations of your breath as it comes, as it goes. Sipping in the sweet breath. Taking it in moment by moment. And simply settling into this place, settling into your body, away from thoughts, just for the next hour or so. Committing to being in the present moment, right here. Hands coming to the heart space. And if it's comfortable, begin to deepen the breath into any space where you feel more open or spaciousness. Perhaps sending hands down to the belly space, saying good morning to babies, or simply honoring the womb, giving baby and belly a little rub as we come more fully into our bodies. And taking a moment to shutter the mind, draw the blinds, the curtains, landing here, right where you sit, wherever you are. Circling in the other direction. And continuing to flood those areas that feel more spacious with breath. Perhaps it's down low in the belly space. Perhaps it feels good to take more full, deep belly breaths. Inhaling to expand the belly gently. Exhaling to draw belly in. Perhaps there's not as much space here in the belly and you'd like to expand into the rib cage. Inhale as the ribs expand. Exhale, allow them to release, drawing back in towards you. A couple more times like that. And then finally, breathing up into the top region of the lungs. You might cross your arms and bring the hands to either shoulder and take a couple of breaths here. Noticing the chest lift a little bit, the torso grow a little taller with inhale, and feeling it relax on the exhale while keeping that length in your torso. That's the beginning of 3-part or full yogic breathing. We'll combine all 3 parts seamlessly together on one inhale. Give it a try if you'd like. On your next inhale, breathing into the belly space and up into the ribs. And finally, upper chest. Then releasing and finding ease and closure at the end of that exhale. Drawing in, preparing to expand again. Belly, ribs, and chest on that next inhale. Slowly, easy, steadily. And then releasing, finding ease in that out breath and feeling yourself draw back in. One more breath like that. Inhaling into belly, ribs, and then chest. Releasing on the exhale, finding ease and letting that breath go. Taking a moment just to notice. Maybe it feels good to close your eyes and capture an inner glimpse of the landscape inside. Just notice what you feel. Notice whatever there is to notice. And taking a deep breath in and out here, we'll transition to table pose. Putting my prop off to the side. Coming into table pose, gathering my wrists under my shoulders, my knees under the hips. From here, we'll do a simple cat flat flow. Taking a breath as you exhale, drawing the belly up and in. Bring baby lift, rounding the back. As you inhale, come to a flat, neutral spine, neutral pelvis as you lift the chest. Exhale, let the elbows be soft here. Round the back, draw belly and baby up and in. Inhale to lengthen the spine and lift the chest. Oop, there goes an earbud. Okay, so keep going with that at your own pace, at the timing of your own breath. You might find a little bit of rocking comes naturally, front to back. Letting the elbows be soft as you transition from cat to flat. Letting the torso be long and shining the chest and the heart forward on it. And slowly we'll start to make our way up to a downward dog stretch. Lifting the knees off the ground, keep the heels lifted, separating feet as wide as you need to make room for baby or belly. Keep the knees bent, stretch out the feet here. And then one at a time, begin to walk out the legs. One heel pressing down and then the other. Take your time. Let those little pops and cracks happen. And letting the hips sway a little bit from side to side. The head also moving in that same direction. That feels good, as long as it doesn't make you feel dizzy. The whole hand pressing into your mat. So with this motion, we'll begin to walk our feet up to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. You might feel good here, nice wide feet for pregnancy, to let the knees bend and the head hang. Or if you're further along, perhaps coming into a modified half forward fold with knees bent and elbows down. Slowly making your way up by rolling up, rolling the shoulders up and back, and finding a strong mountain pose, Tadasana. Hands at the heart space. Take a moment to really root down through the feet, engage the muscles of the legs, feel them turning on and hugging the bones. So you want those soft tissues coming in towards the bones, making your legs feel like tree trunks, strong, rooted, grounded tree trunks. Taking a breath in here, bring the hands to the hips, and as you exhale, give the sacral spine a press down gently as you lift the chest up and away. And when you're ready, sipping in the breath here, lifting the chin if that's comfortable, exhaling on a forward fold, hinging forward at the hips, coming into forward fold, Uttanasana, feet wide for pregnancy, even turning toes out if that makes more room. Bending the knees if you'd like. And stepping back to low lunge with the left foot first. So the right foot is forward, the back knee comes down. Once again, lifting yourself up, sacral press down on the exhale. Inhale to lift the chest. If you are pregnant, tilt the pelvis forward just a little bit to take the back bend out of this pose. So we know that this abdominal wall here can be very sensitive to separating, so we want to protect that area by leaning forward just a little bit. You might even like to reach arms behind the back, grasp the hands, interlace the fingers, and draw the shoulder blades together and down. Coming into a chest opener here, taking a couple of full breaths. And as you're ready, bringing the hands down and stepping back to child's pose. Knees wide or together if that feels good in postpartum. In postpartum or postnatal, bringing the legs together and laying the belly on top of the thighs, coming into a full balasana, child's pose, with arms gathered at your sides. And you might like the assistance of a block here so that the back of the neck and shoulders can relax completely. In pregnancy, knees wide, also using the help of that block, or later on in pregnancy, coming into polar bear pose, so that we're leaning forward onto our forearms. A little bit of hip swinging here can feel good. And then when you're ready, from wherever you're at, stepping that right foot forward again. You'll gather the knees underneath you first, stepping the right foot forward. Find that low lunge. This time, we're going to take the left hand and reach it towards the left end of the mat, long end. And coming into, very slowly, a half twist here. Now, if you're pregnant, you're also going to use this right hand to move the right knee away, like so. Taking a couple of breaths here, keeping the chest wide. And then when you feel complete, notice that I'm also opening the foot up, sending it, peeling it away from my back. And when you're ready, bringing that foot down, the knee over the heel, rocking back, stepping forward, flat back, halfway up on an inhale. Exhale, full forward fold, legs straight or with knees bent, feet wide, making room. Make your way up slowly, rolling up. Bringing hands to the low back or the sacrum, giving a press down as you inhale and lift. Exhale to come back to your strong mountain, Tadasana. Taking a few moments here to notice, to breathe. As we begin the other side. Taking a breath as you bring the hands to the hips, exhale to press down, sipping the breath in as you lift the chest, exhale, spill forward, hinging at the hips, wider feet for pregnancy, bent knees if that feels more comfortable for hamstrings. And stepping back this time with the right leg, coming down to low lunge. Pressing yourself up. Exhale to sacral press as we lengthen the front body. Again, tipping the pelvis forward just a little bit to take the back bend out. Reaching behind the back if that feels good for chest opener here. Really root the feet, that knee, and the back toes down to get strength through the legs. And taking the hands down to the ground, we'll scoot that back leg, the front leg, sorry, behind us, coming into Balasana, child's pose. Once again, your version of child's pose, whatever feels most nourishing. With the block, arms gathered around you, or arms extended, knees wide or together, and taking a couple of nourishing breaths here. Breathing, sending the breath down towards the bowl of the pelvis as much as you can. Perhaps it's more so into the ribs. Slowly making your way up, we'll step forward with the left foot again. The right hand comes to the outer edge of the right side of your mat and taking a half twist towards the left now. That back knee stays down. And if I need to, moving the left knee away in pregnancy. My foot coming away from the mat. Deep breaths here as we hold, and eventually bringing the foot down, the knee over that ankle, rocking back, stepping forward, halfway up. Inhale, flat back, exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Let the head hang here. You can grab opposite elbows and rock side to side. Slowly rolling up with knees bent. Inhaling as you go, exhaling as you press the sacrum down, lifting the chest, sipping the breath in when you're ready, and then bringing the hands back to heart space. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Gather your senses here, gather your breath. Notice. Breathe and feel whatever it is that's there, as long as it feels safe to do that. Sometimes when our thoughts or feelings become bigger than we are, sometimes we just need to focus on the breath. And that works just fine. Starting another round here, I'll move to the other side. Taking a breath in, as you exhale, push down on the sacrum and lift, sipping in the breath as you're ready. Exhaling, forward fold. Hands down to the feet. Taking the feet wide for pregnancy. Bending the knees here if you'd like. Stepping back with the left foot first into that low lunge. Now, if you'd like, you can also straighten out the back leg for high lunge. Slowly making your way up, press against that front leg. Find your sacral press here. Exhale, lifting the chest again, tilting the pelvis forward a little bit in pregnancy and stepping that foot out as much as you can. In pregnancy, you might keep that back knee down. It's a little easier to step that front foot out with the knee down and get a nice stretch here. Again, take the back bend out of the pose by leaning forward just a little bit. If you want, taking the hands behind you, opening the chest. And then as you're ready, circling that leg out to bring it behind you, sink back into child's pose, Balasana. Another option here is you can also step back to downward facing dog. Stretching it out here. And then finding stillness, pressing the heels down towards your mat. The legs towards straight. Perfectly fine to have some bend in the knees here. Strong hands grounding down, strong arms and shoulders. Then when you're ready, stepping that right foot forward once more. If you'd like, you can stay in the high lunge. or bring that knee down. Your choice as we come into the half twist again. Planting that left hand towards the outside of the mat and pushing knee away from you. It's also an option here to keep that knee down. Whatever feels right for you. Just coming into a comfortable half twist here. Very upright posture. And bringing the foot down. And then rocking back, stepping forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale forward fold. This time we'll come into chair pose. So widen the feet. Turn the toes away if that helps. Keep the knees back so that they're not coming forward of the toes. Nice wide stance here if you'd like. Drawing that sacrum down just as we did before. And then when you're ready on an inhale, lift up through the chest. Exhale, sacral press. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, hands to the heart space. Take a moment to breathe. We'll do that on the other side. Gather your thoughts, gather your breath. Come back to where you are. And when you're ready, taking a breath in, exhaling, sacral press down, chest lifting up. Inhale, lifting the chin. Exhale, pouring forward. Knees bent or legs straight. Stepping back with the right foot this time. Again, your choice for low lunge or high lunge. Coming into sacral press. Tilting forward a little bit in pregnancy to take out the back bend. Keep those legs strong, the feet pressing down into your mat, and at the same time drawing together, like you're trying to bring your yoga mat together in between your feet. So keep scissoring those legs strongly. And again, low lunge here is perfectly fine. Good, making your way to child's pose. Slowly, of your choice, or perhaps you're ready to come up to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Find a still, stable, strong downward facing dog. Hold here for a couple of breaths, or maybe you're in child's pose. Energize the whole hand, pressing down into the mat. And then slowly stepping forward the right foot again. Oh, sorry, I think we're on the other side. The left foot. Going for that half twist again. The right hand's going to come out. I'm going to step the foot out a little bit too. Like so. Drawing that knee away from you, the foot comes off of the mat. For pregnancy, like so, or for anyone. The knee down, perhaps. And then when you're ready, drawing that back in, rocking back, stepping forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend those knees, or use those strong tree trunk legs. Slowly shift the hips back, widen the feet for chair pose. For pregnancy. In postpartum, bringing the feet a little closer or even all the way together, bringing the big toe and the big toe ball mount together, the heels slightly separated. I like to think of this as the thinker version of chair pose. Do that sacral press again, just energetically on yourself. Send that sacrum down. And then when you're ready, press up on an inhale, lifting up through the chest. Press down on the sacrum, lengthen the front body. Exhale, hands to heart space. Tadasana, mountain pose. Feel your mountain growing, stronger. heavier, more grounded. That's one of the purposes of this practice, is for it to be very grounding for you, which helps to calm the mind, calm emotions. So now that we have warmed up, we are going to step back to Warrior One. So stepping back with the left foot first. We'll do the right side with the right foot in front. So finding a comfortable stance, the feet are still hip distance apart. My back foot is turned away from me, toes away. Just a little bit. And bending that front knee just until it sacks over the ankle or heel. So really rooting down through the feet. Again, if you're pregnant, shifting the torso forward just a little bit to take the back bend out of the pose. You might feel a little bit of more pressure here, even if you've just given birth. You might feel that's very tender. So lean forward a little bit to make sure that you're taking the back bend out. And from here, we'll do some shoulder circles, starting with forward circles with elbows, and we're pulsing in and out of Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Exhale if you like, as we come forward. Inhale, straightening out the front leg. So a few times like that at your own pace. Just working out the shoulders. And then settling into a strong, stable, still Virabhadrasana. Once you feel your stability there, let your arms open up into a V. So you might think of wings unfurling or flower petals unfurling. Reaching the fingertips away from you. And this is a heart opener too. You might start to feel a gentle opening in the center of your chest. Careful not to overdo it. A few breaths here. Really ground down that back heel. Keep that back leg strong. After a few breaths, release forward and down. Step back, downward facing dog. Stretch it out just for a minute and then find stillness. Let the breath flow as it wants to here. Now we'll step the left foot forward for Virabhadrasana on the other side. I'll turn around this way. Finding that strong Virabhadrasana one, forward facing. The feet are stepped hip distance apart. My back toes are turned away from me, just like 15-20 degrees. So it's giving me that room in that right hip. So as you're ready, bringing the hands to the shoulders, and we did forward circles, we're going to reverse those circles now as we pulse in and out of Virabhadrasana. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to bend that knee, come forward. Inhale to expand. Exhale. You might do one or two more of these if that's feeling really good. You know where we're headed. Finding a strong Virabhadrasana. Begin to let those arms widen and reach into a V shape, reaching slightly away from you here. So you feel that heart opening. Again, tilting forward at the hips just a little bit to bring take the back bend out of this pose. Breathing here, couple of breaths. Stay with it if you can. If it's not happening, you can move out of any pose. And then when you're ready, letting the arms circle down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Stretch it out for a minute and find that strong, still posture.
Adho Mukha Svanasana. If you want, there's an option here to come into three-legged dog. You might like to circle out that foot in the air. You might like to bend the knee, open up the right hip. And if you could do that, make sure you do it to the other side. And this is purely optional. You may also come down to child's pose if you're done with downward dog for the day. And slowly making your way down to the ground any way you like. Coming back to child's pose, Balasana, knees together, or wide apart, or polar bear. Whatever you'd like to experiment with this morning. I'm going to go for my favorite, more like embryo pose. It's letting the arms envelop you. I'm taking an intentional exhale out of the mouth here, once or twice, to release tension, release stress. Remember to make plenty of room for babies on board. And slowly rolling up. We're to come up to standing once more. We're not done just yet. Stepping our feet wide now in the center of our mat. So we started a little bit late today. We're going to be going about 15 minutes over, if that's okay. Is that okay with you, Becky? All right, good. So finding a comfortable wide stance in the middle of your mat, facing the long end, toes pointing directly away from you. Bringing your hands to the hips, taking a breath in here, rolling the shoulders up and back. As you exhale, spilling forward, hinging at the hips, and bringing the hands down to the ground or a block or bolster. Taking comfortable wide feet, strengthening the legs, engaging the muscles of the legs, gripping the bones. Careful not to grip the knees too much. We don't want to hyperextend the knees. I'm going to leave the backs of the knees soft here, but the thigh muscles are engaged as we're coming half forward, preparing for wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita, Kapatasana. Taking a couple of breaths here as you exhale. For babies on board or for anyone, strongly exhale out of the mouth and swaddle baby up and in towards you, as if you were wearing a carrier, and maybe some of you are wearing carriers, carrying your babies as you're doing your yoga practice. I think that's a wonderful idea. Taking a breath in here, strong exhale out of the mouth, drawing baby up and in, or belly up and in. Bringing the right hand to the hip, coming into a half twist here, opening the chest to the right side. Breathe, lengthen the torso, and really ground down through strong feet. Other side, hand comes down to the block first, the other hand, left hand comes to the left hip, lengthening the torso, opening the shoulder to the left. Working on balancing the hips as much as you can. Once more to each side. It is your choice to bring the whole arm extended up as far as you're able. Notice that for most of us, it's not possible with straight legs to go much further than this. Over to the other side, perhaps you're keeping hands to the hips or reaching that arm, whatever feels good. Try to keep the head in line with the neck and line with the spine. And releasing down. And now you can take a full forward fold here in Prasarita. And if you'd like, you can even send the heels away from you to stretch into the pelvic outlet / pelvic floor area. If that does not feel right, obviously don't do it. But if you're preparing for birth soon, that might be a nice way to, well, prepare, as long as it feels okay. Coming into a full forward fold using props. However you'd like to. Maybe you're staying halfway up, that's your choice. And then slowly, we'll come halfway up, bring the heels in, grab some blocks, some pillows, some books, whatever you have handy, some stuffed animals, and make your way down to those blocks. Sitting bones down. And imagine that sacral press, pressing the sacrum down, lifting up through the front body, extending through the chest, opening the heart, and taking a few breaths here with feet firmly rooted. Listen for the sounds. Feel the sensations of breath. Letting the pranic energy flow through you. And letting the prana flow. When we do yoga, we open all of these channels in our body. Physical channels, energetic channels, emotional channels. So sometimes that can feel uncomfortable if we're not used to it. So please be gentle with yourself. Finding a comfortable place on the floor, we'll send our knees over to each side like so. Think of windshield wipers. From side to side. Just letting tension and stress dissipate from the hips, from the low back. And then from here, we'll move into a modified pigeon, Kapatasana. So keeping the knees bent and aiming yourself towards the right leg, we'll walk ourselves forward. Now, in pregnancy, you might move this leg forward or tuck it in a little bit more. Make room for baby here. Grab some blocks or pillows or bolsters and set yourself up for a few breaths here. Try strengthening the legs by flexing your feet, especially if you have any tenderness. And certainly, if it's painful, try halfway. Now, if you'd like, you can also extend into the full pigeon pose, modifying as you feel it necessary to do so. If you're not familiar with the pose, don't worry about it. So in postpartum, you might come into something that looks more like this. Or in pregnancy, if you still love doing pigeon, you can tuck a block underneath the that raised hip. Okay, again, take the back bend out, tilting the torso forward, hinging forward at the hips. Might feel nice to do a little stretch here. Whatever feels good to you, feel free to explore. Make this practice your own. And with that, we'll come to the other side. Modifying Kapatasana, aiming the torso towards the left leg this time. And coming forward, maybe this leg needs to scoot forward or tuck under, using whatever props you have available to you. Small child, just kidding.
Sometimes they'll agree to do that, but not always. Usually they want to be on top of me and crawling on me. So that might be happening for you right now, and that's okay. That's all right. This is how yoga happens with children. So finding a comfortable pose in Kapatasana, in pigeon pose, and maybe you're unfolding into the full posture if you're familiar, and using props, whatever you have available. Taking a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, we'll simply take your time. Come into Cobbler's pose. Soles of the feet together. And preparing for a forward fold here. So in pregnancy, you might walk your hips back a little bit or walk your heels away from you, hinging forward at the hips. Let the bowl of the pelvis spill forward, baby coming forward. Grab the feet or clasp the toes, whatever feels good. Grab some support here, a pile of blankets, pillows from the couch, what have you. And hang out here for a few breaths. Now, if that is not feeling great for you, you can try wide-legged. Again, propping yourself up and finding a comfortable forward fold, basically, is what we're trying to do. And we're ending our practice with forward fold because it is a wonderful introspective posture to help the thoughts and the emotions and feelings settle down. So imagine that sacral press in this position, pressing the sacrum down, lifting up through the front body, through the chest. Supporting the head however you need to. Keep the breath flowing there. We'll slowly make our way to relaxation. So, obviously find the position that's most comfortable for you in relaxation. In pregnancy, I recommend left side, especially for 30 weeks plus. That's really when baby is big enough that it's going to put undue pressure on your circulation, basically. And so for better blood flow and oxygen flow for you and baby, choose the left side, 30 weeks plus. And that's just a guideline. So your baby might not be that big. You might not feel that big at 30 weeks, especially if it's your first pregnancy. I'm going to use this bolster to support the whole leg of my right leg. I am on my left side here. Okay, even my foot is supported. I may be using another pillow or stack of blankets here. And if you're further along, you might even like to turn the belly down towards the ground so that you get the support from the ground. And that can feel quite comfortable. In fact, I still sleep like this with a body pillow, the same body pillow I've had through 2 pregnancies. Okay, so that's for pregnancy or for anyone who wants to give that a shot. For postpartum, postnatal, you're welcome to come onto your back. In pregnancy, you can come onto your back as long as you are staying there for only as long as it feels comfortable and safe. So you might bring knees into the chest, give yourself a little rock, and eventually find stillness wherever you are. You can leave knees bent, especially if the back is still sore from pregnancy and birth. Keep the knees bent. You can use a bolster to support the knees, to support the low back. In a perfect world, we would have 10, 15 minutes to relax here. That's what I would wish for you, but of course, because we're coming close to our time, take a shorter relaxation. And you might have babies and small children starting to crawl all over you now at this point. That's okay. Focus on your breath as it becomes more shallow. Less deep breathing here, unless it feels good to take a big breath. Releasing tension, release stress with an audible exhalation. You know, we do that naturally anyways. You can hear your kids doing that too. And take a few moments here to hum to yourself. On an exhale, humming to yourself as long as it feels comfortable. And this is a form of breathing exercise, actually, called Brahmari, humming bee breath. It's very calming to the mind and nervous system. Whenever you're ready, taking a breath in and on the exhale, humming to yourself or out loud. If you have children, they're probably looking at you right now, wondering what's going on with mom. It's okay, you can teach them. Brahmari is a great breath to teach kids because it helps them to calm their minds, calm their thoughts. And while we're here, you can do a simple forward fold, legs separated, making plenty of room, or together in postpartum or postnatal. Again, laying the abdomen on the thighs. Coming into that forward fold that helps to calm the mind, ease fears and anxiety. Finding a comfortable seat, just as we began. Propping up on a block, gathering feet in, letting knees be wide, or perhaps you'd like knees together. And try something different, as long as that feels okay for joints. I like knees wide because it allows the hips to relax. Feet gathered in. Focusing on our breath. Ending as we began. Noticing the sound or the lack of sound of the breath. Notice the sensations wherever they're felt of the breath. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. And also switching legs. Notice which leg is in front. It's usually your favored side. So bringing that back to find balance, not only between the hips, but also the two sides of the body. Joining the first finger and the thumb, letting the palms be lifted for the reception of energy, or turn down towards you to circulate energy within you. So more of an inner circulation, palms up for I'm ready to receive. Just allowing the breath once again to become shallow, quiet. It's okay to notice thoughts and feelings. Just give them plenty of room. When we close our eyes, we are so big. We are so expansive, and you have the room to distance yourself from whatever's bubbling up to the surface right now. Watching it like a movie clip without becoming involved. Maybe there's some curiosity there, but being the quiet, the non-judgmental observer of your thoughts and feelings, and sitting at the center of your storm. Maybe it's a quiet storm today, or maybe it's a loud, scary storm. But you can do it. You can sit here in the calm, in the quiet, and observe. Again, if the emotions and the thoughts feel too big, too frightening, focus on your breath, the sound and the sensations of your breath, each breath coming in and going out. And once again, bringing the hands to yourself. Let's bring hands to the heart space to honor ourselves first, to thank ourselves for showing up however we showed up this morning. And to know that today, that is my truth. Offering gratitude for yourself, for all that you do and all that you are. Bringing hands down to the womb, down to baby, connecting. Maybe a little gentle touch for baby, or in postpartum, postnatal, honoring the womb, honoring your body, the wisdom, the miracle of life. And again, offering gratitude, if you can. Thanking babies on board for their participation this morning, and the other babies or kids outside of the womb. Now joining me in a simple prayer, a prayer for peace. Peace, peace, peace. Let there be peace that begins deep within me. Let there be peace that radiates through me into my surroundings, into my home, to my loved ones, to my family. Let there be peace reaching out beyond the walls of my home, touching the homes and the hearts of others. Let there be peace between us. so that all living beings can be happy, can know peace. Namaste. The light inside me bows to the light in you. Thanks for showing up this morning. I hope this practice was useful for you. And we will be back here next week on a Tuesday. Oh, I'm sorry. We've had a schedule change, actually. We're moving our classes to Thursday mornings, which will allow our co-teacher, Becky Dash, to get a chance to teach. So join us again at this time on Zoom. Thursday mornings, we'll update the Facebook page so everyone gets notified of that. And she may offer a practice that's more postnatal, postpartum focused. I will continue to offer practices that's good for everyone, but perhaps more modified for pregnancy. So again, I thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day. If you registered, you will get an email with the recording so you can take this class at your convenience. Take care.